Now, political parties are on a final push to woo voters. DA leader Mmusi Maimane is campaigning in Madibeng in the northwest. It comes at the back of a move where the party unveiled a Gupta statue at the birthplace of the ANC yesterday. Now, reporter Nicholas Bauer is following that story. He joins us now live. Nicholas, and Mmusi Maimane will be leading this charge to woo more voters with this so-called people's contract. I mean, several really optimistic promises contained in this contract, creating jobs, securing borders, upping service delivery. How does Mmusi Maimane plan to deliver on all of these promises?
Well, Michelle, we'll find out exactly that from Mmusi Maimane in a moment or so, but we're here on the ground in Madibeng where the Democratic Alliance is, like you say, hoping to woo voters with elections a week away. And Mmusi Maimane is busy on a door-to-door. He stopped at two elderly ladies' houses to give this message of the DA, bringing a new future to this, in their words, forgotten region of the northwest. And Mr. Maimane, good morning and welcome to eNCA. What's your experience on the ground in Madibeng thus far?
No, you know, when you come to a province like the Northwest, you realize these are South Africans who have long been forgotten. When I met these ladies here today, they tell me that they haven't had water. This is, in fact, we've come here to launch a pledge because voters and leaders in government sign a contract. They say, let's agree that these are the things that we want to do. And I came to meet these South Africans to say to them, enough is enough. We've had 25 years of empty promises. What I really want is change that will make sure we deliver services, that in their lifetime, one day they will have water, and ultimately we want to put a job in every home. So this is our commitment. We've come to this community to say, no longer can South Africans stand up and say they were forgotten. This ANC government has long forgotten about citizens.
So let's talk about this pledge, Mr. Maimane, because analysts may argue that this is a little bit wishful thinking on your part, because it's a good ideal to hope for one job in every household. But looking at the facts, we're in an environment with depressed growth. We have one of the highest unemployment rates on earth. We're one of the most unequal societies on earth, and it's not going to be any quick fix. Even if the DA were to take government tomorrow, it's not going to be like you'll be able to provide the amount of jobs that you're promising immediately.
No, look, what's most crucial is the fact that if you look at the national average, 41% of households don't have a single income coming into them. They depend on remittances, welfare, such as the home I'm at today. But actually, when you look at where the DA is in government in the Western Cape, that number is in 29%. When you look at Joburg and Tshwane, in the last 2 financial years, we've been able to create over 100,000 jobs. And so, more than anything, for me, I think what's most crucial is that we need to build a capable government. We need a government that will hire the best people to work for it. We don't want criminals coming back into government. We want a government that will not steal people's money. We want a government that will make sure that small businesses can have a future so that they can create the work. And we want a government that is focused on that very growth. So yes, it is a big target, it is a big goal, but by everything inside of me, we will work hard to ensure that there will be a job in every home. It's a goal that we are working towards.
Mr. Maimane, with respect, all politicians say that they have an amazing energy that they'll bring to the country if they're voted into office. But nitty-gritty, I mean, I understand that you're using the Western Cape as an example, but how are you going to transpose these provincial policies that have worked very well in Cape Town and elsewhere in the Western Cape? How are you going to transplant them to the rest of the country?
Absolutely. And that's why I want to pass the Jobs Act. The first thing about the Jobs Act is that we need to deregulate certain sectors. One of the key challenges in South Africa, the reason why people can't hire people is because it's difficult to hire people. And it makes it hard to keep people employed in that way. Secondly, we must put cities at the forefront of it. Cities, we've already in Johannesburg put Kupuka centers where small businesses can come on board and be able to register and create the requisite jobs. Thirdly, we want in manufacturing sector to reduce the tax burden so that it's at 15%, so that people can make things so that we can sell them. And ultimately, more than anything, we want to introduce a national civilian service for a year where young people can work in that year and be able to earn an income while they're learning the requisite experience. These are some of the initiatives we'll put on board, and the financing of that will mean that we need to take some SOEs out so that we can take the financial resource of that and create the savings so that we can invest in the right key sectors so that jobs can be created.
So, Mr. Maimane, we are talking about policies. The DA has withstood criticism in this election campaign that you've relied on theatrics or gimmickry. So it's good to hear policies and grappling with the fundamentals of governance should you be elected on May the 8th. But how do you respond to this assertion that the DA's maybe gone a bit overboard in terms of your campaigning, in terms of political theatrics. You first had a very, very emotive, well put together election campaign advert that basically takes the ANC to the sword, and then you were at the ANC's birthplace in Mangaung yesterday putting that Gupta idol, that statue outside the church. That's political theatrics, surely.
It's a message to South Africa. This was the birthplace of the ANC, and now under Ace Magashule it's become its death place. It's become a place where they've looted. It's not theatrics to say that billions of rands were stolen by this organization. Mr. Ramaphosa was there, and the whole ANC, they have become a criminal syndicate. So going towards an election, surely it becomes important that voters know the fact that the ANC of Nelson Mandela is no more. This is a new party, this is a criminal party, and what we've come on board is our message remains. We've strived our message to say this is about one South Africa for all, where we can put a job in every home, and ultimately the hopes of our people cannot be in a liberation movement like the ANC, who have looted. Bosasa.
But Mr. Maimane, we've got time for one more question here. Do you really think that placing a Gupta idol statue outside the birthplace of the ANC is going to get people to vote for you?
It's got to show the people that this is no longer the party of Nelson Mandela. And for me, when I come here, I would put another statue here, because it's in fact the Guptas who have stolen from here. In this municipality alone, they took the money, invested it in VBS, they took VBS and looted it. This is why people don't have water. So clearly, this organization is merely racketeering. I want change that puts politicians for 15 years in prison for those who have been found corrupt. And that's what I'm sending a message to say. The ANC should end up in jail because they've looted from the future of these South Africans who are standing here with me.
Tough fighting talk from Mmusi Maimane on the campaign trail here in Madibeng. I'm going to get Mohammed, our cameraman, to just give us a little bit of a pan to show exactly what we have in terms of a campaign by the DA, and to prove what Mmusi Maimane is saying. Mohammed, if you'll just pan here towards this tap, there is no water coming out of this tap right here. So there is proof in what Mmusi Maimane is saying, Michelle. There's just quite simply a lack of services, and residents that we've spoken to here are adamant that they have been dished out promises and nothing more from politicians up until now. One waits to see with bated breath whether or not the promises that the DA is making is going to actually translate into action.
Yeah.